All right. Good morning, everybody. We got 9 a.m. Central Chicago time, so we can go ahead and get started. Thanks for joining me, those of you that are on. I've got Charlie here with me also in the back, hanging out as I go through the Elite Training Day lineup. And then I can field any questions or anything else that you guys have related to the event as we go through this. I do have my coffee today, but before I show you, I'm going to preface it to hopefully hold back some judgment. So it's a tall, blonde, shaken oat milk espresso, and it is delicious. I'm off today. So, well, after this, I'm off today. So this was a little PTO treat, and it is so good. I think there's like 17 shots of espresso in here, so it's doing the trick. So treat yourself this morning. That is a venti. You are right, Sue. Good to see it. Sue was on vacation this week too in Colorado. Welcome back. All right, so let me, I'm going to go through our speaker lineup, and then I'm also going to announce we've got a new speaker joining us, potentially two. It's going to be dependent on a couple variables, but so I'm going to walk through who the speakers are, and then I'll share with you the link to the conference as well. The conference that I'm referring to is Elite Training Day. It's our annual IAI, it's the International Association of Interviewers annual in-person event. And it's happening now in almost 2 months, a little over 2 months, which is crazy. This year has absolutely flown by, especially this summer. These last few months have soared past. So we're about 2 months out, and it's taking place in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So those of you that are familiar with Myrtle Beach, you're well aware of the area and all the attractions and fun things that come along with it. But if you're not, if you're new, or you've never been to that area of South Carolina, it's a beautiful part of the coastline. So we're super excited to have secured this location. We've got some pretty great rates. We're at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. So all of the information for that will be in the link that I am putting up right now. Juan, good morning, man. How we doing? All right, so let me walk through who we've got for you this year. We extended it out to 2 full days, which we're very excited about. Generally, this conference has been a day and a half long. We decided to, based off some feedback we got last year, which that event went very well, we decided to extend out that day too. So now we've got 2 full days of actual conference, and then that gets actually kicked off with the masterclass first that I'll talk to you about here when I'm finished going through the speakers. So for who we have for the conference, for speaker lineup, we've got the first one. Her name is Tracy Lemke. She does consulting with WZ. She is a retired SES employee with the federal government. She ran the internal affairs for Department of Homeland Security. So she's really impressive professional background, but also just a really great person. And she's going to be presenting on strategies of interviewing trained interviewers. So she's calling her presentation "Man in the Mirror," and she's going through just how do you interview an interviewer. And that's good morning, Emily. Good to see you. A lot of classes that we teach, that is a very common question of how would I adjust my approach if the person already knows kind of what I'm doing type idea. So she's going to get into some good strategies and tactics on how do you navigate those types of difficult conversations. So that's going to be a really interesting one. The next one we have is Haley Cleary. Haley Cleary is a PhD out of VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University, and she specializes in juvenile cognitive development and specifically juvenile interaction within the legal system. So she's going to be talking about some of the nuances of interviewing juvenile population, and then specifically she's going to talk about cognitive development of kids, and kind of where that actually does stop, when they're actually finished developing, which traditionally a lot of people make an assumption, legally we make the same assumption, that stops at age 18, when the science actually shows that it's closer to about age 25. So for an interviewer, that's very important. So we can understand kind of what are the limitations on this individual and how should we tailor our approach so that we can best meet them, so they understand where we're getting at. Without any type of manipulation, coercion, or any of those other variables that can introduce themselves. So that'll be a really good one. Next we have, let's see, Heather Honey. Heather Honey is she also does some work with WZ, but she owns Haystack Consulting Group. And she's going to be doing a presentation on open source investigations. And if you know anything about looking people up online, and I'm sure some of you have been through some of these before, but really, really interesting presentation that she's going to put on, and very helpful. So you'll be able to leave that, even in an hour, you'll be able to leave that with little tips and tricks of what you can do to improve your investigation leading into an interview. Then we have Craig Fowler. Craig Fowler is a retired 4-star admiral. Glenn is asking, good morning, Glenn. Do we hold events like this in Canada? No, not yet. No, we do. This is the only in-person event that we have, Glenn, and it's in the States. We have a pretty large population of people from Canada that are coming down for this. If you want, Glenn, reach out to me directly, and I can answer any questions you may have about it. From an international perspective, we do hold online events, so we do some webinars and things like that that you'd be able to have access to. But yeah, reach out to me directly. I'll put my email in the chat when I'm done, and we can have a sidebar conversation about it. All right, so Craig Fowler, he just retired in December. He is a 4-star admiral, which there are only a very small select group of individuals who reach that level. He ran the Southern Command for the United States military, so he's going to be speaking on leadership at all levels. So kind of inspiring us to, just because regardless of our position, if you're a VP level or if you are a field level manager or a single unit employee, that having these innate leadership qualities and characteristics are invaluable for making sure that we're doing our job the right way, but also staying fulfilled in our position. So he's going to be talking about that. We've also got Jim Smith. So Jim Smith is going to be, Jim Smith is the individual who led the interview and interrogation of Colonel Russell Williams, the Canadian case. So he is going to be walking through a case study on that interrogation. That was a very, it got a lot of publicity, Colonel Russell Williams, if you want to Google it. And he did a really nice job of building a connection with the individual, building rapport with him, getting the individual to feel comfortable with him, and navigating that conversation in an effective manner. So he's going to be walking through a case study on that. The new announcement that we have is Lise Lang. Lise is, she runs the behavioral threat assessment team with Starbucks, and she's going to be doing a case study on a case that she worked in partnership with a consulting firm that's a group of psychologists that does behavioral threat assessment. So an individual who had made some comments about potentially harming themselves, but also harming other individuals. And it was a multi-state investigation that ended up going underway as a result of this incident. So she's going to be doing a case study on that. So that one's going to be very, very interesting as well. So we have got a super exciting lineup that we're all very much looking forward to. Every year with ETD, if you've been familiar with it, the speakers and the presentations that we're able to put on are always very well received. So this year will be no different. This is our 10th year anniversary. So we're looking forward to kind of this milestone moment of being able to celebrate it at the beach with all of you good people, with this incredible speaker lineup and a lot of the fun networking events that we have lined up as well. Last thing really quick is our masterclass. Our masterclass is on October 10th, so it kicks off the whole week. It's the day before the conference, and Dave Thompson and I are teaching it, and we're doing an immersive case study experience. So we're going to give evidence at the beginning of the day. We're going to put the teams into the attendees into working groups. We've already got almost a little over 40 people registered for this event, I believe. Emily's going to fact check that on me and probably reach out to me. But that's a kind of an intimate, advanced learning experience that's in the form of a workshop. So we'll give some evidence, and then as the day evolves, we'll teach. We'll introduce new evidence, and it's going to challenge you to reevaluate your approach, re-strategize, and then come forward with a new plan. So that's kind of how the day's going to evolve and take place. But it should be a really fun day and a lot of learning. So we're super excited. I've now gone on for over 9 minutes, so I'm going to get off now. But it is great seeing all of you this morning. Jen, good to see you as well. And reach out to me directly if you have any questions. I'm going to put my email in the chat if you have any questions about the conference. And we will see you guys at the beach in 2 months. Have a great weekend. Take care.